For a lot of people that already have red dots and thinking about adding a magnifier, what should be the right choice? Whether or not they should go with a red dot magnifier or a 1:4 scope. In this edition of Good Gear, we're going to take a look at the Vortex VMX3T magnifier behind the Bushnell TRS-25 red dot versus the Trijicon TR24 red triangle reticle, which is a 1:4x illuminated scope. Okay, so let's talk about some of the reasons why you may choose the red dot plus magnifier setup. So some of the pros. Number one is cost. So for this Bushnell TRS-25, it's about $100 from primary arms, and the same with the Vortex VMX3T, you can also get from primary arms for about $230. So the total cost is about $330. So you have a pretty versatile setup for less than $350. Which brings me to my next pro of this setup is weight. Bushnell TRS-25 is pretty lightweight, less than 4 ounces, and the magnifier plus the included mount is roughly 11 ounces. So we're talking about 16 or 15 and a half ounces combined for this setup. Okay, so some of the cons of this setup. First of all is the magnifier has a fixed eye relief of 3.25. That's what it's listed as far as specs. In my experience, I run a backup iron sight, so I have to push the mount out a little bit further. This is not enough, especially when you're wearing eye pro. Another con of this setup is the flip operation. This is actually how it comes when you get the box. It has this little push button lever that you push and you flip the magnifier to the left. When it ships to you, it flips to the left. I don't know why Vortex did this. I think it's super retarded, but if you flip to the left, as you can see here, when you mount the gun, the left side, when the magnifier is on that side, it blocks your left eye, and you do not want to lose peripheral vision when you actually have an object that close to your eye. What's better is you can actually disassemble it. You can see here the screws on the bottom. You take them out, you flip the magnifier around, it flips to the right, which is actually the better way to do it. So as you can see here, your eye is looking down the red dot, and the magnifier is out of the way, so you can have peripheral vision all around you. However, since it's flipped to the right, the button is instead of push, it's toward the front. So it's kind of awkward getting to it. I've played around with several different methods, and this is the method I use. Another con of using an aim point type reticle and putting a magnifier behind it is you're going to see a little bit of reticle smear. So you can probably see here just from the camera that it looks like a comet because you have a projected diode reflecting on the glass into your eye. When I use my EOTech, because the dot's actually smaller, I don't have that much of smear, but when I'm using an aim point reticle, you can see this problem. And the problem is when you're shooting long distance at a target, depending upon which way the smear is going, you don't know where the center of the dot is. And if you don't know where the center of the dot is, then it's very hard to find out where the reticle ends so you can calculate BDC drop. Big first advantage of Trijicon products is they use fiber optic and tritium illumination, which you do not need batteries for. So that is controlled, the amount, how bright the reticle is, controlled with this sunshade here, which you turn in and out. Usually you leave it full on exposed when you're outside, and the reticle is lit by the sun, so you can pick up the reticle easily when you're shooting it in 1x mode. One of the other pros of the TR24 is the eye relief. At 1x or 4x is approximately 4 inches, so you don't actually move your head, but the eye box is very big, so you get your head behind the eye box and you can see the reticle easily. It's almost as good as shooting a red dot. As long as you get a consistent cheek weld, there's not a problem with it. Okay, so one of the disadvantages of this setup is first is cost versus the RDS plus magnifier setup. The cost of a TR24 on street price is about $800, and you have to still buy the scope mount. I just use the included primary arms one, and I turn it so tight you can't remove it with your hand, and that's been super stable for me. Okay, now that we've done pros and cons of each setup, I'm gonna do the first drill, which is actually just a one-shot time drill from high ready to mount and shooting. Two guns set up exactly the same way, so they kind of take out the variable. So they're both 14.5 mid-length guns with a battle comp. My target is a reduced size 66% IPSC, which is about 12 inches wide, 20 inches long, from about 20 yards out. So let's take a look at the first one-shot time drill, and we'll see how they compare. Okay, so now that we're done with the one-shot time drill, put out 2 targets, 20 yards out, but 10 yards apart. So once you shoulder and fire the first shot and you move to the second shot, we want to see the reticle and recoil and track it to the next shot. For this long range setup, I'm shooting at flashes which are approximately 10 to 14 inches in diameter. Hit. 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 Alright fellas, so that's my comparison. You can see pros and cons of both. You can kind of see how they match up on the close range stuff and the long range stuff. So my recommendation, the 1 to 4x illuminated scope is almost always the right answer. It has a lot of applicability depending upon whether you're shooting 3-gun, you're out hunting, home defense, etc. It has fewer cons than RDS with magnifier setup. So hopefully this helps you, and if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later.